Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new episode of Legends of Runeterra. Tonight we are going to embark on a new quest in building a new deck, and I've taken the liberty to fill that job before actually starting the video, because I wanted to have something physically to show you guys, and I decided that today I must toy around with Ashe. Why is that? Because I've heard here and there that people are complaining about Ashe not being that powerful, or being a lot less powerful than other champions. So I told myself, let's see if we can back that up. So I tried to build something that uses a lot of spells. It relies heavily on spells. Try to make it a mid-range towards control deck, because the mechanic with the Frostbite and what Ashe does, and other heroes from Freljord actually tend to go towards the mid-range and control parts. I mean, I couldn't find a single comment. Maybe like there's some few exceptions, but most of them are basically mid-rangers, or tend to encourage a mid-range control playstyle. So what I did is I tried to find the I don't know, a proper region to work with Freljord, and what I did find was that there's a decent combination between Freljord and Ionia. So I called the deck Ashe's Ionian Cannon. So let's get into the deck quickly and we'll talk about some synergies here. We've got just one copy. Again, this is all duct tape. This is mostly whatever I could find in my collection to make this deck work. Feel free to improve or to leave a comment below with suggestions and improvements, because I'm sure there are ways to do this deck better. But I'm happy with what I obtained. At least I managed to obtain. Brittle Steel, only one copy because that's what we have. 3 copies of Omen Hawk. Grant the top 2 allies in your deck +1/+1, which is actually awesome. Avarosan Sentry, Last Breath Draw 1. Ice Veil Archer, Frostbite an enemy. Shatter, deal 4 to an enemy unit, has 0 power, otherwise Frostbite hit. Braum. Braum, we've talked about this dude several times before. This is pretty good, and of course I discovered some time ago that it can be played excellently with Take Heart. Grant a damaged ally +3/+3. So you give Braum the ability to fight back, and considering that regeneration, healing fully at the end of the turn, at the start of each round, sorry, you can basically turn him into something of a monstrosity. Emerald Awakener, Lifesteal, Enlightened, I have +4/+4. I have some creatures, and we'll soon get to the other champion that I want to comment on in this deck. It's mid-range towards control, so I aim to reach Enlightenment, meaning 10 maximum mana, which is the maximum cap of mana that you can have. Of course, mana, not spell. Plus spell mana, you can reach 13, but no more than that. Absolutely no more. And this dude is really useful if you manage to buff it up, because we have some creatures that allow him to get buffed up. Flash Freeze, Frostbite an enemy. Kindly Tavern Keeper, heal an ally or your nexus by 3. Take Heart, we've already talked about it. Ashe, we know what she does. Although the Crystal Arrow, Frostbite an enemy, and all other enemies with 3 or less health. In case you're not running a control deck to deal damage in area of effect, stylish, this Crystal Arrow is okay. You can Frostbite 1, but if the others are like 5 HP, 6 HP, because late game you can find yourself up against some crazy boards, this is kind of meh. So this is probably what all the hate about Ashe is. I think. Feel free to contradict me or to bring up your own arguments in the comment section below. Avalanche, just 1 copy deal to to all units. Another good creature, Kinko Lifeblade. It's elusive and it has a lifesteal, meaning you can squeeze him on the board, and if your opponent is not playing any control spells or elusive creatures, you can leave this dude unattended and he'll just sap back some of the precious Nexus HP and keep you on the floating line. Spirit Refuge. Give an ally barrier and lifesteal this round. Combine with Braum, or combine it with Ashe, or combine it with some other big clunky creature that you can get by using the boosts from the stack. You can use it even when defending, just to throw your opponent off course towards lethal. Jeweled Protector, grant an ally in hand +3/+3. This is an excellent addition. Just because I don't have 3 copies of Avarosan Heartguard. When I'm summoned, grant allies in your deck +1/+1. Although this is like a better long-term solution in buffing all of your stuff, Jeweled Protector is the short-term solution into buffing something up that you want to use probably next turn. And Karma, here we are. Round and create a random spell in hand. This is useful in most of the cases. And she levels up when you're enlightened, meaning you have reached 10 maximum mana. And whenever you play a spell, cast it again on the same target. And I'll show you guys what spell am I talking about. Karma's Insight of Ages. If you draw another Karma, let's get to the rest of the cards. Rime Tusk Shaman, round start, Frostbite, the strongest enemy. This is actually a very good card to have, although we only have 1 because I didn't want to mess up the curve too much, although the curve is a bit all over the place. Too many 5s, but again, it's acceptable considering it's a mid-range towards control deck. Zephyr Sage, create an exact copy of a card in hand, so you can pick something extremely valuable or very useful situationally in your current match, and if you play this, you can duplicate it and you can use it later on. Ice Yeti, when I'm summoned, frostbite enemies with 3 or less health. This is excellent in that mid-range play. Once you manage to frostbite everything, you can basically push for lethal without any interruptions. If your opponent decides to throw in creatures to defend, they'll just get obliterated because they have no attack. He won't die this turn, but next turn that's probably gonna be it. Winter's Breath. This is, I think, the most powerful spell that you can use in this deck in combination with Karma and while being enlightened. So what it does is kill all enemies with 0 power, then frostbite all enemies. So considering your opponent has a board full of creatures and they're about to pummel your Nexus HP and you're about to die, playing this will ensure a board clear. Why? Because Karma Enlightened basically tells the game that whenever Winter's Breath will be played, another Winter's Breath will be played. Meaning, the first Winter's Breath will just frostbite all the enemies, and then the second will just kill all the enemies. That's a board clear, and that's pretty nasty to do. Something pretty nasty to do to your opponent. And the Tusk Raider, plunder double the power and health of allies in your deck. And play, draw a Sejuani. Now, this is a hero I am missing. I don't have it. So with this card, hopefully, I'll be able to get it into play. Also, the plunder ability feels kind of nice. Remember, we have the Kinko Lifeblade. This is elusive, meaning you can squeeze some Nexus damage, and Tusk Rider can benefit from that plunder. That's pretty much it about the deck. this is pretty much it about how it interacts and what you need to do. So the strategy is to survive. You've got plenty of ways to do that. You've got ways to frostbite, even to defend, frostbite, and remove the enemy creatures from play. And I don't know, towards 9 mana, 10 mana, you can just drop Karma. If you don't have it, you can either... You'll probably end up with a lot of those nasty creatures, and you'll be able to push for lethal. No sweat. So let's hop onto some gameplay and show you guys how this deck behaves. Okay, to the obvious cave. Oh my god, dear lord, 6 heroes. That's 1 hero more than the harem that I made with 5 heroes. My opponent has 6. Ooh, nice. Pass. Looks like it. Yeah, remember to toy around with the cards from the cramped up position to the normal hand position, just to be able to correctly click or touch or tap or whatever the hitbox, and not summon something else entirely or play something else. Just because you are starting to get used with cards and you're just gonna throw stuff like real fast because you've kind of learned what they do, and then you hit that battle or go or pass button and like, oh, damn, I messed up. Looks like my opponent is on a killing spree. Already down to 17. Playing versus a Demacian Freljord. Okay, what to do? Time to heal. Heal all wounds. And we can also use that to block. That's in case my opponent does not play any more Frostbite cards. I should remove that from the game. Yep, and I'm gonna deal 4 damage using Shatter. Hopefully my opponent will summon something else. If you'll attack... Nah, it doesn't matter. Why? Because at the end of the turn I can still use the Shatter spell. Huh. Well, that's good. That's actually good. Why? Because my opponent is using up a lot of his spells to deal with these nothings. They're not nothings. They're supposed to draw out the enemy cards, your opponent's cards, to deal with them. So it's a win-win situation, I could say. What that means is that my powerful creatures are less likely to get targeted by said spells, because my opponent had just used them. I'm going to buff the Shaman. I'm very inclined to buff the Lifestealer, but the Shaman is very powerful. If he remains on the board, or it's a her, if it remains on the board, then at round start, the most powerful creature will get Frostbite. That's actually good. And one other thing. If the most powerful creature is has received Frostbite already, when you attack with Ashe, that creature will no longer be targeted by Ashe's special attack. It will target the creature coming up next with the most, with the biggest attack power. Decisions. You know what? I'm going to drop the Shaman. And that'll help me. Because it's 6/6, that's good. Help me with defense and will also help me in offering Frostbite. Free of charge. Opponent is down to just 2 cards in hand. If he burns that out, it's going to be pretty difficult to come back for him. Especially if I manage to clear his board, which I think I may be able to do soon. Do not fret, my child. Can we defend? That is the real question. And what are the other 2 cards that my opponent has in hand? That is the second question. Okay, makes sense. Challenges come first. Worried about that 5/5. Did not attack. It was pretty obvious that the 5/5 would have been obliterated because I would have assigned the Shaman. And judging by that, we can assume, but you know, assumption is the mother of all fuck-ups. We can assume that our opponent is out of spells, or at least proper spells to deal with just 1 HP. Otherwise he would have used that to deal with my 6/6 Shaman. Okay, what do we do now? We've got 9 mana, 7 plus 2 spell mana. And you know what? I can play Shatter. I could play Shatter and get rid of one of the challengers. And if that doesn't get countered, then Winter's Breath should take 2 creatures out of the picture and basically just frostbite everybody else. Now, I could have waited to get Karma into Enlightenment mode. I could really use some non-damage right now. Okay, throw in the blockers. Yep. And ooh, Tryndamere. It's going to be interesting to go up against him. Right now I'm benefiting a lot from that Shaman. And next turn I will benefit even more because Tryndamere is gonna get frostbitten. Oh, there's a little battery. Unexpected. Oh, That means 10%. We need to hurry. And we need to hurry now. I'm gonna throw in this blocker. What will happen is, if my opponent has no, I don't know, frostbite or anything, Tryndamere will die, but instead of dying, he just levels up. Yeah, that's a big baddie that we need to get rid of. 9-9. Alright, just plugged my phone into the charger. Hopefully the phone won't die while we're in this game. We need to see the outcome of this. So Tryndamere did not attack, and now he got frostbitten. This is not funny, probably, for my opponent. And because Tryndamere is now the biggest baddie, that 5-5 is no longer being frostbitten by our shaman. So I'm gonna play the... Oh, damn it. I'm gonna play Crystal Arrow. Actually, my mishap, my mistake, was great. Why? Because I can play Crystal Arrow now, and I can give Frostbite to Lux, as well as that nasty wolf, 3-1. If I would have used Crystal Arrow, probably some creature would have been left out with the ability to defend and block. You know what? My opponent is out of mana. I mean, he has some 3 spell mana. But I can spawn stuff. Unfortunately, I don't have 8 mana. Could have been great, because I would have been able to spawn the creature that we just buffed. But we're just gonna attack. Oh, and because that 3-3 is the only creature with attack, just got frostbitten by Ashe. Whoops. Okay. Back into the next game. We had our fun. Oh, what's this? Why is this frame rate drop? Let's hope it's not permanent. It's gonna be sucky. We don't need karma this early. That's at least something that I know. Coming from a world of card games. Because she's not even going to help until turn 10. Round 10. Keep calling them turns. Okay, looks like we've got the Ice Veil Archer, and we're gonna drop that. We're just gonna prevent 3 damage. And now we can attack. I could play something for a favorable trade, but I'm not gonna use any of my spells, at least not this early of the game. That would be just dumb. We're fighting against an Ionia Piltover in Zaun deck. Okay. Mystic Shot. Oh, this looks like aggro. Could be. 3-1. Round... yeah. I definitely tend to incline towards aggro. least let's try to survive a bit. It's the only thing that we have. Huh. That thing has quick attack. But I will use Frostbite. Yeah, I'm doing something dumb. Trying to protect that lifestealer. Probably not the best case here. But nonetheless. Just want that out of the picture. What happens now? Oh, righty then. I used to know what exactly that card name is, but I have forgotten. Good thing we have Karma. We threw her out, and now she's back. Looks like this is going to be a long game. And this might not be aggro, after all. I don't know, in this game, back when we used to play Elder Scrolls Legends, I found out that you can actually determine what exactly is the deck that our opponent was playing by judging the first 3 cards played. Hopefully that Ashe will not be removed. Yeah, so in Runeterra, in Legends of Runeterra, I haven't been able to determine the exact deck, but given the fact I don't know all the cards yet, that could be a factor. But I want to see in the future, in the near future, if I manage to figure out what kind of deck my opponent is wielding by the first 3 cards played. Well, this is turning to be a wee bit of a waiting game. A Mexican standoff. Well, I'm a noob, so probably my opponent is also a noob. Yeah, I consider myself a noob. So, it's all fun in games. My opponent does not know what he's doing. I don't know what I'm doing. So, it's probably all fun and games until somebody loses an eyeball. You know, in Romania we have this thing when you pick up driving school. After you finish it and you get your license, you have to wear for 1 year period a yellow exclamation mark. You need to fit it in your windshield, just to let people know that you are a noob. And they're not supposed to toy around with you in traffic, because I know you might crash and burn and die. So, oh, bummer. That's gonna hurt us a lot. Yep. This is gonna hurt. Need to find a way to mitigate. Because most likely he will attack. There's no doubt about it. There's plenty of damage there. Now, need to find a decent way to remove as much damage as possible from the incoming damage, of course, and try to also remove some of the creatures by trading favorably. Let's give some lifesteal. Even though we're not benefiting at all from that lifesteal, I am trying to save that creature with the barrier. Ouch. Well, at least having that card being the last blocker managed to lifesteal something back. Yeah, the order of attack and the order of defend is pretty important in this game. And another important aspect that I don't know if I explained well is that the events work as a stack, just like in coding, in programming. You have the stack trace, meaning that the first effect or action or event being played is actually the last that will be executed. That's how you are able to negate some of the effects or some of the spells, because the last played action or spell or whatever is going to be the first to trigger. Managed to survive, and we are enlightened. No, we are not. Wasn't paying attention to that mana pool. We got Karma out, which is buffed off and pretty decent. Yeah, Jinx. So this was indeed something resembling a burn, but I'm guessing Jinx was not yet in my opponent's hand, so he tried to play mid-range. I think that's going to cost him a lot, because I'm into mid-range control. Again, a lot of damage here. I got 4 creatures which I can block. Healing up to 20 is always good. That's just the elusive. Just the elusive. He was afraid of losing a lot of the cards. Generated another spell, Sonic Wave. Oh, this is actually going to be good. And Zephyr Sage. We could add another Ashe. Yup. I'm gonna add another Ashe. If the first Ashe dies, we're just gonna have the second one to play. Although once we play it, that second Ashe will be turned into that crystal arrow. Oh dear God. So much damage. Luckily we have Karma to protect. 7/6, sitting pretty good. So he's basically trying to deter me from attacking. That's not going to happen. I'm gonna give Challenger to one of our 4/4s. Inclined to pick Karma, but I won't. Okay. We could deal with that elusive, but I'm pretty confident that our opponent will be playing that elusive to defend. So I think he's gonna lose a lot of creatures here. No, maybe not, because he's got creatures with loads of HP. And those 2/1, 2/3, and 2/3 will just die out. Now, I do want a favorable trade. Oh, there's so many favorable trades here. There's a 4/5, a 4/3 that I can play. Let's give it to... Who do we want a favorable trade here? Well, we want to get rid of that 4/5 for sure. So our Zephyr Sage is definitely gonna die, but at least we'll take down a an important piece from our opponent's board out of the game. And next turn we are going to be enlightened. Beware. Oh, there's another Jinx. Damn it. We only have one brittle seal. And that's that. We've lost most of our creatures. Shadow Flare. Grant all enemy... Oh, no. All followers... All attacking followers. Ephemeral. I don't have any followers. I don't think... I haven't played the spell yet. Ever. This is something new to me. We've got a lot of mana to use. Available, actually. Followers, followers. Let me check the orb. Let's see what it shows. Everything dies. Except champions. Okay. Followers. Yes, that makes a lot of sense. And with this, I will clear the board. I'll take some damage. Acceptable. But Jinx will go away. That was pure bliss. That was pure bliss. That was pure bliss. That was amazing. I cleared the enemy board with one random generated spell by Karma. Like that. Okay. Let's see if my opponent will defend or not. We've got Brittle Seal. We also have other Frostbite. But it's irrelevant because I forgot Ashe gives Frostbite to the biggest enemy. It was only one. Okay, let's spawn some more. We've got plenty of mana here. Okay. Looks like my opponent is dumping his hand. Although, I don't think that will help at all. So, we can use Shatter. We can use Shatter on that elusive creature. And feel free to block the other two with our existing creatures on the board. So, because that creature was buffed by the summoned stuff, 2 times Shatter, thanks to Karma, offered Frostbite again, and then 4 damage. I love Enlightened Karma. In late game, it's pretty amazing if you have the correct spells in hand. You can pull off some crazy, crazy stuff. Okay. And I think we'll be giving Karma Barrier and Lifesteal. Ashe might die. I don't think we care. Why? Because we have another one. Oh right, Ashe has evolved. And the Crystal Arrow has been added as a top card on the deck. We'll draw it next turn. And we're just gonna replenish our HP, and our opponent conceded. Excellent game. An excellent display of what this deck can do. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.